Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Reacts. We're doing a Reacts out of Columbus, Ohio. This one took place, you might have heard about it in national headlines, where you had a dog bite a male while the state troopers are yelling, "Don't let the dog go." This is going to be a massive lawsuit. I want to get straight to the video. Thanks to Police Activity for letting us use this video. You can find the link to the original video down below. Also, the uncensored version of this available on patreon.com/Mike Glover. Thank you to all my Patreon members, my patrons, for supporting this channel for both Prep Life and Reacts. So let's get straight to the video. We'll start off at 2:13. What you missed in the lead up to this video is how many officers were on scene. A crap ton of state troopers. Now, I don't understand this protocol. I don't understand it because it seems more like more risk, more liability when you have a dozen officers chasing one vehicle. But I guess to each their own. If there's one person per vehicle, that's 12 officers total. It just seems like a lot. In this freeze frame at 2:13, you got the semi-truck off to the right-hand side. You got the suspect relatively in the middle, and you have two officers with a K9 offset to the left-hand side. Now, this routinely happens, especially when you're crossing county lines, where state troopers who are in charge of the byways and the thoroughways, the highways, are chasing the suspect, and they're intersecting different municipalities, including counties and different cities, and including different states where they'll have to pass it off to other departments. So in this case, you obviously have the state troopers wearing the hats, and then you have a couple other officers from different departments, and they give this suspect commands to walk to him. Now you can see him in the middle, his hands are up. And apparently this guy is like a young man, 23 years old, was originally pulled over for a missing mud flap on his semi-truck. No warrants, no prior criminal past that indicates some kind of issue, and he was transporting goods legally, and he decided not to stop for the police. Took him on a pursuit. I don't even think it was high speed of a pursuit. They get him stopped, they get him out of the vehicle, and here we are. We're going to kick it off at 2:13. Giving him lawful commands: get on the ground, come to me, get on the ground.
Do not let them, don't release the dog.
So at 2:22, the state trooper whose body cam footage you're getting right now says, "Don't release the dog." Now, this is a profound issue. Having personal experience with working with both police dogs and military working dogs overseas, I had a dog save my life in combat in 2007. Big shout out to Vinny and his handler, Rick, working for a special missions unit. But that dog saved my life. It wasn't for him taking the round and the grenade or the explosive device, I likely wouldn't be here, and neither would my buddy Rob, who was standing next to me. These dogs save lives. These dogs are trained to bite, sniff, detect, all the good stuff. The problem with this situation, which I think the state trooper identifies at 2:22, is he says, "Don't release the dog," and he kind of says it nearly under his breath.
Do not let them, don't release the dog.
If you don't want the guy from another agency to release the dog, maybe you should step up. And that's one of the overarching issues with interagencies, period. Agencies who don't work, cooperate, and many of them do not cooperate together, they have beef, they have drama. This situation is a clear case of that, where you have this dude like mumbling, and I get it, he's saying it. Maybe he's saying it on the radio, but I don't think he has comms with these guys, which is one of the problems with friendly coordination. You don't have a way to communicate it, but he should be yelling it. And the reason he's saying this is because the dude's hands are up. The dude's turning around and he's scared shitless of this dog, as many people are, especially of a barking Malinois or German Shepherd standing next to this police officer. So he keeps looking back, and they're trying to take him and bring them towards him. But I don't understand. Like, we got a taser out. We got some guys with guns out. Like, the guy standing in the open with his hands up approached the dude and put him in custody. And they have a protocol, but in this protocol that would be normal for, like, you know, a close interaction with a patrol car and a car, you have this long ass semi truck sitting there, so the distance between them is like 50 yards, and you're trying to get him to comply and to come to you, but he has a dog behind him. And if he's scared of a dog, he obviously is not thinking about the police or cooperating. He's scared shitless. So here we go. At 2:23, we're going to keep going.
Do not release the dog with his hands
Do
up.
not release the dog, he says again.
Do not release the dog with his hands up. Do not release the dog.
Okay, here we go. So at 2:30, I don't know if it's a sheriff or it's a police officer. All I do know is this dude's going to be in trouble here shortly. He's walking the dog across the grass, the open grass, to the suspect. Now, when is it appropriate to use a trained killer? I mean, these dogs are vicious. They can be vicious. I mean, I worked with some dogs in task force that were monsters. They're also dogs that you could like go back to base and pet. Some of them you couldn't even touch because they would just snap at operators. They would snap at everybody around them. But you see him moving the dog to the suspect, and the state trooper realizes, this dog's going to bite this guy. So he starts yelling it, but he should have stepped forward and started announcing it. Or hell, a supervisor in charge, like a sergeant in charge or a lieutenant in charge, should have been shouting the commands. But here we go. It's about to get crazy at 2:30.
With his hands up, dog.
The dog literally bypasses the guy who currently right now is on his knees. Like he's surrendering on his knees. The dog bypasses him because he goes, this dude's not even a threat. Even the dog knows this guy's not a threat, and he runs back. Now, I do know some dog handlers who always want to get their dog in the fight, and I get that. Like, you want to work the tool, the skill set, but this is not a time and place to do that. So at 2:33, we're freeze-framed. The dog even is like, what the hell am I doing right now? And he turns around after he gets recalled, and then this happens.
Do not.
Dude, oh, this is so this is like really bad. Okay, this is some bad policing right here. At 2:35, freeze framed, he's pointing at the suspect, who at this point is on his knees. So let me get this straight. You have an officer who's within 5 feet of the suspect. You have another officer behind him with a gun pointed at him. At the same time, he's pointing nearly at all the officers and the state troopers who are literally on the other side of him. And then you're pointing at the dog to bite this person who's on the ground when you're within distance to control the suspect and put him on the ground yourself. What this looks like is this dog handler trying to get his dog a bite. I mean, that's what it is. It's bad policing. Like, I love to advocate and give affirmation for good policing, but when we see bad policing, we need to call this shit out. This is bad policing. Here we go at 2:35. Dude, he bites him when he's on his knees. These state troopers aren't doing anything. They're still holding. The state troopers are holding they're like walking to him, and they're setting up a perimeter. Okay, good on these state troopers. Here's what I will say. Good on these state troopers for saying, get this dog. This dog is mauling the hell out of this dude who, at this point, has not done anything to warrant being bitten by a dog. Just because you run from the police doesn't mean you deserve to get bitten by a dog. I know some people would disagree with that, but in this case, it's like he's doing nothing wrong, and he's working his dog to get a bite, and all these cops are like, oh, this is not good. These state troopers are not. Wow. This dude's screaming at 3:12, 3:13. You can see right here, freeze frame at 3:39. His arm is bleeding profusely. He needs first aid. That's appropriate. And that screaming is not just pain, man. That's fear. I mean, guys who are scared of dogs, like I grew up with guys who were scared of dogs. I've never been scared of dogs, but you see something like that, that's horrifying, man, for a person. That's not just a scream of pain. That's a scream of fear. All right, they're going to do first aid. It's a bad situation to be in, guys. Right now it says law enforcement officers attempted to stop 23-year-old Jadarius Rose of Memphis, Tennessee for a missing mud flap. Getting down later after blowing out his front left tire, Rose can be seen exiting the truck. The body cam footage shows Officer Ryan Speakman with the Circleville Police Department holding back the canine, and the trooper heard repeatedly yelling, "Do not release a dog," with his hands up. However, Officer Speakman deployed the dog. Could be seen in the video attacking Rose. Rose was charged with failure to comply. It's not clear why he refused to stop for the inspector and police. He was reportedly delivering products to Grove City, Ohio before returning home to Tennessee. Rose was released from the hospital that day and taken to Rose County Jail. He was released from jail on July 7th. What day did that start out? July 4th. So he was in jail for 3 days. Officer Speakman has been placed on paid administrative leave, according to Circleville Mayor Don McClory. Dude, you talking about a lawsuit? That's a huge lawsuit. That's a huge mark on good police officers in that city and those state troopers. And it's the reason why we need to train more. I mean, we need to train more and recognize errors like this for what they are, errors. This should not be happening to even criminals who run from the police if they're not doing anything wrong. Let me know how you feel down below in the comments. Also, subscribe, hit the notification tab, and look for the uncensored version available on patreon.com/Mike Glover. I appreciate you guys. Till next time. Peace out.